All right. Hello, everybody. Sorry there for the little delay, but I appreciate everybody being patient. I just eating a little bit of dinner there. I'm sure you know how it goes, but welcome back. This is I think this is the third event we've done now since or this year since we kind of picked it back up. I am Matt Millen. I'm the founder of the Denver Crypto Group. We're a community here based in Denver. We're about 1,000 people right now, and been holding virtual events. But I want to do the in-person ones pretty soon. And if you know of a place or a venue that would be willing to host us, please reach out to me. My email is Matt, M-A-T-T, at denvercryptogroup.com. If you could send me an email if you have a place here in Denver. I mean, I'd love it to be central, kind of, I-25 and, Colorado or somewhere around there, maybe a little south, but somewhere easy for everybody to get, and probably around, 6 or 7 o'clock would be ideal. So if you have anywhere that we could meet and start meeting up again in person, and obviously we'll be doing that safely, please let me know. I'd love to see you all again live instead of through the YouTube chat. Not that it isn't fun. We can get a lot of good stuff done, but yeah. So anyways, hit me up about that. Short plug here, denvercryptogroup.com is the website. If you want any one-on-one consulting help about literally anything crypto related, check that out. And otherwise, we're just gonna, I think, get into the event here tonight. So tonight is the beginner's night, and we're going to be going through the initial account setup, in my opinion, that kind of everybody ought to do. And this is going to help preserve your privacy and give you kind of a good level of cybersecurity. It's not perfect. There's definitely more you could do, but I feel like this is kind of a good balance between being safe and not being too tedious and burdensome, because a lot of this stuff can be, you can get a little carried away with it, but for the average person, it's not always practical. So I'm going to try and get through as much of it as I can. We've only got an hour tonight, and I want to leave some time for questions. I absolutely want to leave some time for questions. Yeah, I'm just going to get into it, and we'll see how far that we get. So if you have questions, pop them into the chat here. I'll be watching the chat. Yeah, otherwise I'm just going to share my screen and we'll get to it. So here we go. And I'm not seeing anybody saying anything in the chat like they can't hear it or the audio is bad. So I'm going to push ahead here and just assume that everything is good. So let me share my screen. Let's see here. All right, so this little Zoom thingy out of the way if I can. Okay, so the first thing when you're getting your account set up to cryptocurrency, and this is from the perspective of someone who does not have anything already set up, no prior knowledge. You heard about Bitcoin, you want to buy a little bit of Bitcoin, and where do you start? This is the video for you, basically. As an American, and I'm just kind of doing this for our group here in Denver. So this is, somebody living in Colorado. The first place that you're going to want to start is actually by setting up a new bank account. The reason for this is I've been hearing a little bit about some people at Chase and Wells Fargo who are making transfers into and out of Coinbase, and they're getting their accounts, their checking accounts, like frozen, or they're getting flagged, and they got to answer a bunch of questions, and in the meantime they can't access any of their money in the bank. To avoid this, it's really best to have a separate bank account that's kind of dedicated for cryptocurrency investing. And the one that I've used that's actually, and I've had no problems. I talked to the branch manager, and she said basically don't move any money in and out of Coinbase for other people, and you'll be fine. And that's First Bank. So it's just efirstbank.com. I've used them for over 4 years now for my cryptocurrency transactions. And I'm sure there's other banks that are very crypto friendly, but so far they've been really good to me. And so yeah, it's I think it's free to open up a personal account. It's pretty quick, but I would say that's the very first thing you want to do is actually just open up a dedicated cryptocurrency investing account. If you have a like a cash money account or a brokerage account, those can work as well. But just something that's separate from your like main checking and banking is where, yeah, you want to make sure you're doing that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is going to be a hardware wallet. And so I like the Ledger. I know they had the data breach. It's really annoying. I wish they had not had that, but I still am recommending them, and that's where I secure my funds, is on the Ledger. And to pick up one of those, you're going to want to make sure that you go to ledger.com. And I would, I guess I'll accept these cookies. I would make sure that you're on the correct website, and I would actually bookmark this website just so when you return to it and when you're going to be downloading Ledger Live, which is the software program that goes along with your Ledger, you're going to want to make sure you're going to the correct website and not some sort of scam site that'll give you a bad version of the Ledger Live software program. So we got the bank account, and we want to get a hardware wallet. The Nano X is the more expensive one. It holds a few more cryptocurrencies like simultaneously. The Ledger Nano S does exactly the same thing as the X, and it's half the price. But you can really only hold about 3 or 4 cryptos on there at a time. But you can delete, if you got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero on there, you could delete the Ethereum wallet and then, install the Polkadot wallet, and you don't lose your Ethereum. You just don't have access to it until you would delete one of those other wallets and reinstall the Ethereum. So it's a little more, it's kind of a workaround. It's not as convenient, but either one will work pretty well. And also the tracers aren't bad. And I have a BitFi that I've ordered, but it's not here yet. I'm very interested to try that one out, see what the BitFi hardware wallet's all about. But I don't have that yet, so for now we're going to stick with the Ledger. So if I'm someone who's setting all this stuff up, let's assume that I've already purchased my Ledger. Now I want to install the Ledger Live software program. I'm going to go to downloads here, and right down here we've got the download button, and it's basically, we got to choose it for the operating system. I'm on Windows, so I would go for the Windows version. They got Macintosh and Linux, so pretty much everybody's covered. They've also got mobile versions for iPhone and for Android. I actually haven't really messed around with this too much, so I can't speak to it. The one thing I wonder about is that your phone is, I feel like your phone is not quite as secure as your desktop, or at least it's harder to make more secure. And not that, the way that the Ledger works, you have to approve everything manually on the physical device itself. But I just feel more secure doing it on my desktop for some reason. So maybe somebody with like some cybersecurity chops can tell me I'm just being paranoid or confirm my suspicion. But I just prefer to use it on my desktop or laptop instead of the mobile app. But the Nano X has Bluetooth, and so you can wirelessly use it paired with your phone, which is kind of cool. I mean, that is pretty cool. But yeah, this is where you're going to get the Ledger Live software program, and then be able to access your Ledger hardware wallet, install accounts, and do things like that. So we got the new bank account, we've bought our Ledger, now we've downloaded our Ledger Live software program, and the next step that we're going to want to do Looks like, okay, Mark's saying that he's had no problems with Ally Bank as well. I think that's an online bank. I've used them for my business, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I can't really complain about them, but sorry, getting off track here. So yeah, bank account, hardware wallet. We got the hardware wallet software downloaded. That's this Ledger Live app. Next thing we want to do is create a secure email account. I'm a fan of Proton Mail. If my friend Chill was here, she would probably recommend Tuta Nota. But for tonight's demonstration, I'm gonna go for Proton Mail. Protonmail.com is their website. And let's see here, my face is kind of in the way. Where is, there it is, sign up. And yeah, you can make a free account. You can get the, the advanced account, whatever. I'm just using the free account for now. So we will select that plan. And we want to choose our username. Make this something fun and easy for you to remember. We'll just do DCG, the DCG beginners at protonmail.com. I think I spelled that right. And now we want a password. So this part is important. I'm actually going to just show you all the password because this is not a this is not an account that I'm going to use or secure any value with. Obviously, don't do that. And I would definitely recommend writing down your password for your email because in a minute we're going to set up a password manager, and the recovery for that password manager is going to be this email account. And so if you get locked out of your password manager and your password to log into your email is in your password manager, you're not going to be able to get it. So unless you have it secured in some other way, you're basically locked out of your password manager and your email, and you're kind of just like dead in the water. So I actually just bought these things off of Amazon for like 15 bucks. Let me hold them up. It's called a Picto Stone. It's a little like, I don't know, it's like the size of a passport. There's like 48 pages and it's not very big, but it's got stone paper. It's made with stone paper. And so if it gets wet or, you drop it or whatever, it's very resistant to tearing, and it's water resistant, almost waterproof. So if you can just, write on it with regular ink or marker if you want to really get it on there. But it's a great kind of waterproof way to, back up the passwords that you need to write down. Most of the passwords I recommend put in your password manager, but you're gonna have a master password for your password manager, and you're gonna have your email recovery, your email password that's your recovery to your password manager, and you're gonna want to write those two down. And I mean, it's like 15 bucks for 3 of these things, I think, for on Amazon. Picto Stone, pretty cheap, great way to write your passwords down. So let's choose a password here. I'm going to go for 17 characters. I'm going to do all the things. I'm just going to kind of do some random letters. We'll put a number in there. We'll put a capital in there. We'll put a symbol in there, and another couple letters, couple caps there, another number, symbol. There we go, $, couple symbols, number, letter. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16. I need one more, rounded out with a 0 there. All right, so this is my password for my Proton Mail email. I'm just going to copy it and paste it down here. And before I go down to this next step, I'm going to actually write down this email in my little Picto Stone thing here. So let's write this down just real quick here. This thing out. All right. DOE3 capital Z, and I like to underline my caps, and if it's a 0 I put a slash through it just so I can, if I come back I got to re-enter it. That's kind of the best way to do it. Okay. All right. Okay, so I've written that down. I labeled it as my Proton Mail password. And then now we come down here to step number 4. This is my recovery email. So this one, because we're going to use this to secure our exchange accounts and everything, I don't really want to have a recovery email in here. I've got my password written down. If I forget my password and I don't have a recovery email, it's going to be really hard to get back in here. So but you've got to remember the recovery email. If that account gets compromised, then someone's going to be able to recover your Proton Mail email. So if this, if their recovery email is the email you use for day-to-day use, and that email gets hacked, the person who hacked it can come over to Proton Mail and say, "Oh, I forgot my password," and they'll send the recovery, the reset password link to that old email that got compromised. So I generally don't do that for recovery email, unless you want to have, like, I do like a master recovery email on an email account that I don't give out anywhere, and its only purpose is to act as a recovery email for all of my other email accounts. You could do something like that. So for now, I'm going to leave it blank. If you do put a recovery email in here, you should create a fresh recovery email. So you actually make two email accounts. You end up making 2 email accounts. But I just, for saving time here, I'm not going to go through it. And just looking at my list of things to get through, we're already 20 minutes in. We only got 40 minutes left. This is definitely going to be a part 1 and a part 2, because I want to be able to take some questions from everybody. But okay, let's create the accounts. You did not set a recovery email. Recovery is impossible if you get your password. Proceed without it. Yeah, it's fine. And now Brave, I'm using the Brave browser. It's asking me if I want to save this password, and I'm going to say never. I'm going to download a password manager here in a second, and that's what I'll use. I don't want to use the in-browser. I'm not going to use the in-browser password saver. Okay, wants to make sure that I'm human. Traffic lights, this is always fun. And parking meters. Oh, I don't see any parking meters. Oh, all right, nice. I'm not a robot. That's good to know. All right, now it's making it. Nicholas, Proton Mail is an email account. It's like Gmail or Yahoo Mail, whatever. We're making an email account, a fresh email account. You want to show me notifications? Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, you now have an encrypted email account. Here's some optional settings. That's my display name, DCG beginners. I can download the app from my phone. If I want to do that, I can do that. I'm not going to do that right now. All right, and I'm finished. Get rid of these tips. Get rid of all these things here, and boom, I'm in here, and I've got my password written down in my little stone book. And I've already set up my bank account. I've already purchased my hardware wallet. So we're doing pretty good here. We're doing pretty good. The next step after getting this email is going to be to go and get a password manager. The one that I use is LastPass, and I don't remember their website, so I've got to Google it here or DuckDuckGo it here. LastPass.com, I probably could have guessed that. And this, again, all this stuff I'm showing you is free, other than the hardware wallet. Obviously, you got to pay either $60 or $120 if you get the X or the S, or I don't know what the Trezors are going for now. The BitFi was like I want to say the BitFi was like 180. That one works a little differently though, and I can't speak to it. We interviewed the guy last week over on the Opie's YouTube channel about it, but it seems really exciting, but I haven't got my hands on it yet. Okay, so I'm over here on LastPass. I want to get my password manager, so let's set that up. It's going to ask me the email, so we're going to do DCG beginners@protonmail.com. Okay, so now I've got my master password. This is going to be we want this to be a very strong password. I'm probably going to do something about do something like 17 characters long again. And I'm also going to write this down in my little picto stone book here. So my master password here, we're going to just do some letters, some numbers, and I will actually show it here. I'm gonna see how long it takes for somebody to try and get into all these, because I'm putting this on YouTube. That's going to be kind of funny. I'll give it like 4 days, I bet, till someone tries to log into this stuff. Or you guys are doing it while I'm doing it, and then you mess up the whole demonstration. That'd actually be kind of funny. All right, anyway, rather than inviting that, we will do some symbols, some caps, random numbers, letters, all this good stuff. That's too many D's, so we get a P in there. How many characters do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I always get 16 and I have to add like one more. Okay. So I'm going to take this password and I'm going to write it down in my stone book here. Actually, no, I'm going to change these passwords after we're done here. I don't want somebody getting in here and pretending to be me. All right, let's see here. So stone, SK, reduce, yeah, put the slash to the zeros, do the M's. There we go. All right, paste it down here. Reminder, I don't need a reminder. And let's sign up. Never, I do not want to save. Okay, so I should be getting an email from them. 18 characters takes about 4 trillion years to brute force. Nice. That's good. Other than me just like putting it out there publicly to all of y'all, but no worries. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, welcome to LastPass. That's great. All right, bunch of stuff. Store my account. I don't care about that. I thought it was like an email confirmation, and it's not. Okay, so I have a LastPass account now, and I'm on the Brave browser, which is like a Chromium derived browser, so I can actually install the Chrome browser for it. If you're on Firefox, it's also on Firefox. I think LastPass is on like every browser as a browser extension. So whatever browser you're using, whether it's Edge, Firefox, Brave, Chrome, I believe Safari's got it too. You've just got to go in and just search for LastPass browser extension for whatever browser you're using. LastPass, it'll show up. Make sure you get it from LastPass. You know, we got 10 million plus users here, and it's offered by LastPass. It's been verified, so I know I'm getting the correct browser extension and not some like malicious one. So let's add this to Brave. And yep, I've got to approve that. And now it should, now we got to give it a second here. And where is it? Hello? All right. Oops. Oh no, did I just remove it? Oh no. Okay, here we're good. I clicked something. Okay, so I created my account. I opened it up, and here I'm just going to pin this up here so I can see it up there. So now I've got my password. I've got my password vault. The very first thing that I want to do is I want to add my my Proton Mail password into add my Proton Mail password into my LastPass. And because, you know, what do I want to say here? I'm also writing it down just in case I get locked out of my password manager. I'm still able to get into my Proton Mail, because if I get locked out of my password manager, the only way to recover it is by sending an email to my Proton Mail. And if the only place my email password is stored is in my password manager, and I get locked out of my password manager, I think you can see where I'm going with this. Nicholas, how do you get the Brave browser? Is that with DuckDuckGo? Same as incognito? Kinda. So the Brave browser, there's actually a cryptocurrency token. It's called BAT, B-A-T, Basic Attention Token. And that cryptocurrency project created the Brave browser. And so where did I get Brave? I just their website here. Let's see here. Yeah, brave.com. If you go to brave.com, you can download this, and it's based on Chromium. So anything that works with Chrome, Brave will work with. And then it actually has like a MetaMask extension. You can do Tor tabs and browse in Tor. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but that's yeah, it's got some kind of cool functionality. But so anyways, back to this. So now that I have this browser extension active, if I want to add, and this is, I'll just take you through the process of adding adding an account to your password manager. You want to make sure that you're logged in up here, right? I can see that I'm logged in. Yeah, they're trying to get me to upgrade, but I really don't need to. If I'm just using this on my desktop, I can use all the free stuff. But anytime I go to log in, and now I've got to type this password in here, and luckily I copied it, so I'll just paste it in there. Now, when I click log in, watch what the LastPass browser extension offers to do, or at least it should. I really hope it does. It didn't. Generally, it's supposed to pop up and ask me, do I want to add this account to my LastPass? It like automatically kind of generates it. It didn't there, probably just because I'm streaming this live. It chose not to, but you know, usually when you go somewhere, you type in a password, you make a new account. They're like, hey, do you want to add this to LastPass? Yes, I do. That's my password manager. That's where all my passwords live. So in that case, I will just have to add this in manually, and I'll just click on the little plus button here. URL is going to be, well, you know what? I'm just gonna log out of that. All right, so here's my URL right here. So I'll paste that in. My username is DCG Beginners. If I want to, I can kind of organize this in a folder. And actually, I'm sorry, that's not the correct. The name is actually Proton Mail. Folder, nah, I don't need that. Username, the username is DCG Beginners at protonmail.com. And then that password is going to just be that same password. Whoops. That same password that I wrote down earlier. All right, looks good. There we go. Let's hit save. All right, we've added it, and let's refresh this page real quick. And so now I'm at the URL that LastPass has, and now I get this little button here. And that's from LastPass. I can click on that and fill that in. Boom, log in. Hey, there we go. I'm in. And so now I've got this password for my email. It's saved in LastPass. It's also written down in my Stonebook. And then I have my password for my password manager, my LastPass, written down in my Stonebook as well. And so now, you know what? Well, if I'd done this without live streaming it, it would be rather secure. Are you using LastPass in tandem with KeePass? So KeePass, I use KeePass. The short answer is yes. KeePass, I also is like a third party. It's just like an encrypted storage, and it saves all your passwords. So I put a lot of things like private keys for like various cryptocurrency wallets. I put like my master password and my email password. I back it up onto KeePass, and then I put that little KeePass encrypted password protected container onto a flash drive. But for what I'm showing you here, that's like an extra security step that I do personally take. But for what we're demonstrating here for like a beginner's introductory level, getting all this stuff set up, it's a little more advanced than I think you need to do right out of the gate. But you know, if you're paranoid about it and you're securing, you know, a large crypto investment, or you plan to, it's not a bad idea. But yeah, if you're curious about that, just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you set that up. So yeah, okay. So right now we've done our bank account, we've purchased our hardware wallet, we've set up a new secure email account, and we've set up our password manager, and we've secured all that stuff. That's great. And that's the grid. Now we've kind of got this is like our home base. We've got a fresh email account that's dedicated for crypto. I've got a hardware wallet, and I have a password manager that I'm saving all of these passwords, you know, for my exchanges, for my email, any kind of like wallet that needs a password, any kind of cryptocurrency wallet that I might download in the future that needs a password. That like Ledger doesn't support or something like that, I can save in this password manager, and I'm being very safe about it. The one thing that I have not covered yet, and we're going to have a part 2 next week or maybe 2 weeks from now for this, because I didn't even get through setting up the Ledger. I didn't get it through setting up exchanges. And I didn't really cover on kind of some of the later things like portfolio balancing and taxes and whatnot, or portfolio setup and taxes. So we're definitely going to have a part 2. But the last thing I want to show you tonight is how to set up 2-factor authentication, because you should be using this for your Proton Mail. You should be using this for your LastPass. You should be using this for any exchange account that you set up. And we want to use the good 2FA, not the 2FA that gets texted to your phone. If you get a text message and you get a code texted to you and that's your 2FA, bad. You did bad. You're doing it wrong. You want to have either Google Authenticator or YubiKey or Authy, some kind of like third-party service that gives you a time-based code, because that makes it almost impossible for someone trying to compromise your accounts to get their hands on that, unless they just show up at your house and you know, demand your phone from you. All right, question here. Hey, DCG, does the hardware wallet work with both Coinbase and Robinhood? And how often do you need to sync your hardware wallet? So the hardware wallet is actually separate. So Coinbase and Robinhood, well, actually, they actually work a little differently. Coinbase holds the cryptocurrency on your behalf. And then after your money, your transfer from your bank account clears, they'll allow you to withdraw it to a place that you control. But when your funds are on Coinbase, it's really just an IOU. They owe you some Bitcoin that you've paid for. But if the government comes in and says, hey, Coinbase, we're regulating the industry, you got to freeze so-and-so's account, or something happens with your KYC, or just the market is really moving and the Coinbase website is kind of laggy and is down, all of those things would prevent you from accessing your cryptocurrency that's stored on Coinbase. And so you'll hear this repeated a lot, you know, throughout the cryptosphere. But basically, it's not your keys, not your cheese, or not your keys, not your coins. If you don't control the private keys for the cryptocurrency that is yours, you really don't control the cryptocurrency. And so with the Ledger hardware wallet, you actually do control the private keys, and it's under your custody. Doesn't matter what Coinbase is doing. It doesn't matter if the government makes Bitcoin illegal. Not that I think they will, but if they did, I can still send my Bitcoin to anyone, anywhere in the world who has a Bitcoin wallet. I don't need anyone's permission. If my funds are held on Robinhood or Coinbase, I cannot do that. They can prevent me from basically using my cryptocurrency that's mine. And Robinhood, I don't think they actually allow you to withdraw the crypto. You're just trading like paper crypto, basically. Like if you buy Bitcoin on Robinhood, you can't, to my knowledge, you cannot withdraw it from Robinhood and put it into a wallet where you control it. All you can do is buy like a synthetic version of Bitcoin that's pegged to the price of it, and then you can trade that and make profit on it. That's the whole point of Robinhood, but you can't actually send it to anyone or spend it. You can't spend that Bitcoin that's held on Robinhood. Cash App, you can. If you buy it on Cash App, you can withdraw it, you can spend it, but I don't think Robinhood works that way. What do I prefer? The Trezor, the Ledger Nano, the Keep Key? I think I actually still prefer the Ledger Nano, but man, do I wish they didn't get everybody's emails stolen. And I've been getting phishing emails from them. So like I don't feel as great about promoting them, but that is still who I use as Ledger for my own personal funds. So, but Trezor is great, KeepKey is great. This BitFi, I'm pretty excited about it, but if I had to pick one out of the three, I mean, obviously it's the one I'm using. It's just a Ledger, and I do use a cold card, but that's Bitcoin only. I'm not gonna get into that and confuse everybody. But yeah. Excuse me. Ooh, can I get my crypto off of Coinbase onto the Ledger, and where do you buy? You're going to have to go back and watch the beginning of the video because I show you exactly where and how to buy it on ledger.com, Nano X and Nano S, but I'm not going to go back for that one. I actually covered that in the beginning. Okay, 2FA, and then we'll take questions, and then we're going to wrap this up about 8 o'clock. So first place I want to do my 2FA is going to be over here on my Proton Mail, my email. So I just went over here to my settings, and I come down here and I go to security, and right here I see enable two-factor authentication. Yep, let's do that. There's a 2FA guide that'll kind of walk you through it. Feel free to check that out if you're not sure, you want to understand a little bit more about what you're doing. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to add the secret key, and I can see the key right here if I want, or I can scan it with a QR code. But yeah, so let's scan it. What I need to scan this code is actually an app on my mobile phone. So let's do a new share here. We're going to get real crazy with it. Okay, so I've got my little Android emulator here, my Samsung Galaxy S9. So it's time for me to add this key in for my two-factor authentication. So what I need to do is on my phone, either go to the Play Store if you're on Android, or go to the, I don't know, what's the app store for iPhone? The iPhone App Store? I don't know what it's called. I don't have an iPhone. But either way, you can search for an app called Google Authenticator. So we've got that one. This is obviously, it's made by Google. There's some like open source versions, and you know, I should have probably demonstrated one of those. But this one is probably the most convenient and quickest. So there are some open source alternatives out there to Google Authenticator, but for tonight, we're just going to show you Google Authenticator. All right, so I want to install that to my phone. I'm hoping you can all see this. So we're installing this to my phone. Let me just move it over here because I think my face is in the way there. Okay, so we've got it here. I'll go back to my home screen. Where did Google? Oh, there's Google Authenticator. Why are you over here? Come here. All right, whatever. We're going to do it there. All right, so I'm going to open up the app on my phone. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, so set up your first account. I can either scan a QR code or I can enter a setup key. The easiest way to do this is to scan a QR code. So I'm going to see if this actually works. So let's use my webcam here. Let's see if I can actually just like hold this webcam up to the QR code on my screen. That'd be kind of cool. See if it'll let me do that. No, come on. How's it going that way? Oh, this thing is weird. To get it back a little further. Oh, hey, oh, sweet, it worked. Okay, cool. All right, well, that's the easiest way to do it, is just to scan it. And there now we see I've got a little code, and we can see there's a little timer that's counting down. And I think it's every 90 seconds. This little code will change, but that's what I'm going to use to log into my Proton Mail. Before I go to the next step here on Proton Mail, so I'm going to put my phone down now. I already scanned this. The next thing I need to do here is I actually need to write this key down, because if I lose my phone or I drop it in a puddle or I get a new phone, I need to be able to get this code that allows me to log into Proton Mail. I need to be able to re-enter it. And so we see on here, when we go to add an account, we can either enter a setup key manually, or we can scan the QR code like I just did. So enter the setup key. I can just enter this key in right here, and it's going to give me the exact same QR. It's going to give me the exact same code as if I had scanned it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually take this key, and I'm going to write it down again in my stone book, in my little in my stone book here. Let me turn my camera back on. Did that work? Hello, camera. What's going on here? I guess this thing has control of my camera. There we go. Okay, you should be able to see my face now. So here's my stone book. I'm going to write down this key inside that stone book. And I'm also going to come over here to my LastPass vault, and I'm going to come here to the edit button. Underneath my notes, I'm going to do 2FA, and then we can see here, this is my Proton Mail account. Here's my key for my Proton Mail. So I'm going to save that. So now in my LastPass for Proton Mail, I've got my password, I've got my 2FA key. I'm ready to rock. And I've also in my manually, I've written it down on the stone paper. I have my key, and I have my password, and I have my username for my Proton Mail account. So I've got it in two separate places, one of them digitally and one of them physically. And so now that I've written that down, I can hit next. It wants to know what my current password is. So I can just click on my little LastPass browser extension pop-up, enter the two-factor code. I guess I tried to put my username in there. So enter the two-factor code. I'll come back here. It's about to switch over, so I'm going to wait for it. And what do we got? 279423. 279423. All right, submit. Okay, here's a bunch of one-time codes in case I lose access to my phone. So I'm going to just copy all of these, and I'll come back here to LastPass, and I'll throw these in here. One-time codes. Paste them in there. There's a bunch of, there's my LastPass one, or there's my Proton Mail LastPass codes. Okay, so now I'm done, and we can see here, if I was to log out of this account, now when I go to log back in, I've got to give them my username, and I've got to give them my password. And before it just took me right in. Now it says, what's your two-factor passcode? So I've got to come here, I've got to pull out my phone, wait for this little code to change over. There we go, 836739. 739, and I'll log in. You need to do this for every single account with your cryptocurrency that'll allow you to. And actually, weirdly enough, my bank, I don't think my bank allows me to do 2FA, which is just ridiculous. But let's see if I can get some better light on my face here. But everything else does. So we've set that up for Proton Mail. I'm going to set it up now for LastPass, and then I'm going to take questions, and we'll be done for the night for part one. Part two is coming soon, where we're going to show the setup of the ledger. We're going to show the setup of some exchange accounts, and then we're going to talk about tracking your portfolio and taxes. And that'll kind of complete the two-part like beginner's introduction to crypto series. If you're just tuning in here, you came in a little late. Again, I put out a call earlier. If anybody knows of a physical location for us to meet up, I would love to start holding in-person meetups again. I'm getting vaccinated. here pretty soon. So I'll be able to be safe, but obviously we want to make everybody else feel safe that comes out. So we will be responsible with the in-person meetings, but I'm just ready to see y'all again. It's been too long, and the virtual stuff is fun, but yeah, if you know of anywhere we can meet in person, please let me know. Reach out. Matt, M-A-T-T at denvercryptogroup.com is my email there. Okay, let's set up 2FA on our last pass. And okay, multi-factor. So I just went up here to settings, come over here to multi-factor options. We've got a bunch of multi-factor options here, YubiKeys, fingerprint things, Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator is what we're using. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to turn it on. So right now it's not enabled. So we're going to enable it. Permit offline access. Yes, that's fine. Now we want to view our barcode. Please re-enter your LastPass master password. So good thing I wrote that down in my book. Let's go back to my book here and wait a minute. Oh no. Did I write it down? I don't think I wrote it down correctly in my book. Let's see here. No, I've got it here somewhere. Where did I put it? Kind of just scribbled it here. All right, let's enter this in. Hope this is the right one. Let's see. Okay, well, so now I'm going to show you how to recover your master password for LastPass. That's an oopsie on my part. I was trying to save time. I didn't finish writing down my master password in my stone book. So yeah, whoopsie. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Under account settings and master password. We're going to change our master password. And wants to know what our old master password is. Dang, I'm not quite sure. If I log out of this, is it going to allow me to recover it? I've never actually recovered a LastPass master password, so this is new for me. Let's see what happens here. Forgot my password. Email address, send a hint. We got to use the account recovery process. All right. Couldn't find any one-time password accounts, so recovery probably won't work. Check your inbox. It tells you how to enable your local one-time password for account recovery. All right, let's see here. Link expires in 2 hours, or it doesn't. Okay, let's see here. Change your master password. Use a one-time password for account. I don't think I have. Couldn't find any one-time passwords for you. I think I should have hit yes. Oh wow, so I actually can't. So because I didn't write that down correctly, I'm now completely locked out of my LastPass. I don't think I can actually get back into it. Oh boy, well, that's embarrassing. I really should have written that thing down. Click to recover the account. Well, that's good to know. I've never actually been locked out of my one in real life, but that is how they do it. I'm a little surprised by that. Or email, show on the screen keyboard. Yeah. So, okay, well, that's a great lesson. Make sure you write this down correctly and test it out by logging out and logging back in. to make sure you've got this correct. Because if you write it down incorrectly or you forget it and you don't have access to it, that's going to be, yeah, you're not going to be able to get back into it unless you see. I thought for some reason I could recover it with my email, but that is just not how they allow you to do it. Just kind of incredible. I'm glad I knew that. So, all right, send the hints, try to use the account recovery process. Yeah. Okay, well, that's LastPass for you. It's actually a bit more secure than I thought, but you definitely really want to make sure you are writing down that password and backing it up in a way where it's not going to be destroyed. Because if you forget that and you get locked out, that looks like it's about it. So I think that's going to actually do it for tonight. I didn't get to set my two-factor up on LastPass. I'm going to see if I can get into it for our next one. I feel like there's a way that I can probably get into it, but maybe not. We'll see. I'll let you all know the next time. I may have to have a new LastPass account for our next one. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Let's see what we've got for some questions here. See here, Google Authenticator and Authy. Okay, what about Coinbase, Blockfolio, or Binance? Yeah, those are Coinbase is an exchange. Blockfolio is a portfolio tracking app, I believe, and then Binance is also exchange. Although Blockfolio allows you to purchase things, purchase things as well. Well, that video really got dark. Oh, well, I guess the sun did go down. Let's see if we can't cycle that on a little bit. And okay, how did it remember? Okay, this is where I get confused with 2FA. So with the 2FA, you've got to see, you basically have a password for your 2FA, but they give you the password, you don't create it. And that was the key that I entered down and I put into my LastPass. That's what the 2FA was. And I could scan that password with my phone, or I could manually enter it in, like if I'd lost my phone because I had recorded it down. Nicholas is asking how to remember your password. I remembered my password because I saved it into LastPass. That was my password manager. Lucero is saying try Carbon on 15th and Platt. Oh, as a place to meet? Oh, sweet. Okay, I will look into that. Thank you, ma'am. Nicholas, what part we do with every crypto account? There's a coffee house in Reunion. Okay, Nicholas, I'm not sure I understand your question there. What do we do with every crypto account? That's I mean, for every crypto. So when I say every crypto account, I'm talking about your exchanges. I'm talking about your email, just like anything you have to set up and create that's related to cryptocurrency. Your ledger is going to be your primary wallet. That's where you're going to store your crypto. You're going to have exchange accounts where you send some money and get a cryptocurrency back, or you're going to have you might have an account to track your portfolio, like on Blockfolio, something like that. All of those should all live. When you set them up, you should use your Proton Mail email as the email that you set them up as. And then every password for those, you should save them in your password manager. And then that way you have one master password for your password manager, and that gives you secure access to all of your passwords for all of your crypto accounts. And then you have your Proton Mail email that serves as the place where you get notified. And when you log in and you do things on the exchanges, that's where the emails come, and it's separate from your personal email account. And then on top of that, you have a separate bank account. So you want to keep everything separate from your personal stuff. I mean, the password manager you can use for, you can use that kind of wherever. Just make a little folder for your crypto stuff, and you can use it for your personal stuff as well. But you really want to try and keep this stuff separate. And some people even go so far as to get like a dedicated computer for crypto stuff. I'm not really recommending that because I feel like you can be reasonably secure without doing that. But always bookmark the websites that you're going to, use your password manager, and just make sure you're being safe. Make sure you're being safe. Everything associated with the cryptocurrency technology needs to be two-factor if offered. Absolutely. What about, which is just about everything out there offers the two-factor. Yep. And yeah, global crypto, saying I've belonged to about 18 different crypto exchanges. All my exchanges have 32-character passwords with two-factor auth. Right. Yeah, that's kind of the best way to do it. But yeah, take it from me. Make sure you write this stuff down, and it's always good to go through the recovery process. And that's just something that I didn't do. This is kind of advice to myself, honestly, is after I set up my LastPass the first time, I should have logged out and just pretended like I forgot my password and tried to log back in and see what the recovery process is for that, because it's different for everything. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I learned something myself tonight, that LastPass does not just email you a password reset link, which is what I thought. They require you to either have a one-time password to log back in, or you've got to know it or you can't get back in there. So yeah, that's a little bit more secure, but the burden of proof is on you, the user. So you've got to make sure you're writing that down and you're not losing it, or you're committing it to memory, or probably ideally both. But yeah, does anybody have any other questions about that? I talked about setting up a new bank account, talked about purchasing a hardware wallet. I showed you how to download the software for that. Next time we do this, I'll show you setting up that hardware wallet, and I will show you setting up an exchange account, and then some basic like portfolio stuff and tax stuff. So that'll be part 2. And Karen, can you rewind the video to get your password? Yes, I absolutely can, but I have to end the stream before I do that. So I will be able to get back into that LastPass account. I just can't do it right now. So I was not able to set up the two-factor. But yes, I'll be able to get back in there. So it's all good. Yeah, that's what I get for cutting corners. And that's a great, honestly, please, I hope you learned, don't cut any corners when it comes to the security on your crypto stuff. You're going to get locked out and life's going to be difficult. Cross your T's, dot your I's, and you'll be all right. Because this is pretty high stakes stuff. If your crypto leaves your account, it's gone. There's no like chargeback. There's no fraud report. You're not calling up the credit card company and saying reverse this transaction, or hey bank, reimburse my account. It's just gone. And what that enables is freedom for you to transfer value anywhere in the world without censorship to anyone with an internet connection and a smartphone, which is an incredibly valuable thing to be able to do. But with increased freedom comes increased responsibility, and so there's a trade-off. We want to make sure we're being secure and we're doing everything that we can to secure our accounts. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you everyone for coming out. And if you have any questions, or you want to know a little bit more about this setup stuff, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Twitter at Denver Crypto GRP instead of group. Or you can go to the website denvercryptogroup.com. My contact info is on there. And yeah, we've got a Discord that I'm trying to get started. There's not a ton of people on there, but if you want to come in and say hi, I'm usually checking that. I'll talk with you, chat with you on there on our Discord. That link is on the website. But yeah, otherwise, everybody be safe. And I'm glad you guys got something out of it. That's awesome. And I will see you all next time. Bye.